The pictures I'm about to show you is a city in Germany called Dresden, prior to World War II and post-World War II. So this picture right here is prior to World War II, same area post-World War II. This is a church prior to World War II, same church post-World War II. This is Dresden today. So my question is, how could a country in ruin rise from the ashes to become what it is today? So hi, my name is Robinson Walsh, and that's exactly what I'm going to explain to you. After World War II, Germany faced heavy sanctions, was practically destroyed, but is now the third largest country in economy, and also, thanks to its education system, business, and pride. So I actually lived in Germany twice. I lived in Germany twice, where I taught English in a school called the Gymnasium, which I'll explain what it is here in a little bit. And I also studied 4 years of German in high school and researched this topic thoroughly. This is relevant today because due to our globalization economies, as Americans, we also have the biggest economy in the world. So it is nice to know about the other economies and what makes them special to us, as us. So I'm going to talk about the education system, business, and the pride, which are the three things I think helped Germany come from after World War II to what it is today. So first, let me explain the education system to you and what makes it different from ours. By 4th grade, you've decided with your parents and your teacher what you're going to do with your life. You pick from 3 high schools, and from there on, each high school determines what your job will be. So the first one is called the Hauptschule. The Hauptschule is the lowest tier. You actually go 9 years. And after these 9 years, you take a test called the Hauptschulabschluss. And these are your lowest paying jobs, usually janitor jobs, or just certain jobs like that. The next school is called the Realschule. So this is your trade school. 10 years, the education is a little harder than the Hauptschule, and from here you graduate taking the Realschulabschluss, where you go on to be a apprentice at a trade, maybe baking, steelwork, anything like this. And the last one is what Germany is known for, the Gymnasium. So we all know about German engineers and how they're world renowned, and so this is the school they come from, the Gymnasium. Top 10% of the students in Germany attend this school, where they go about 12 to 13 years depending on what school you go to. After this, you take your Abitur. So if you pass your Abitur, you go to university for free, provided by tax dollars. And if you do not pass, you go back 2 years, and if you fail the next time, then you cannot take it again, so you need to go find a trade or another job. So the pros to this is jobs are filled by people who actually want these jobs. These aren't filled by people who just get put in this job because they didn't really know what to do with their life, but they know predestined what they want to do. Also, if you're not interested in university, you don't have to go take the math classes maybe that you're not going to be good at, or it's just really something you're not really interested in. Lastly, all these students know English. So as we become more global, English is the global language now, and every single student learns English from 1st grade onwards. Next, let's talk about business. According to a 2018 article on Deutschland.de called Why is German Economy So Strong by Martin North, Germany is 3rd in exports thanks to its chemical engineering, automobiles, and engineering industry. In a recent interview I did with my friend Max Brauchler, a German citizen and Berlin resident, he told me that open economy in the West kept Germany going and still does today. So as we know, the wall fell in 1989, which divided Germany into West and East. East Germany was a communist state, and West Germany was open market. 495 of the 500 biggest companies in Germany today are in the West. So this shows you the effects of communism had on the country, but as the country is developing, the East is slowly catching back up, which will make it even more a stronger economy than they are currently. Most famously known, however, is the German automobile. So we have Audi, Mercedes, BMW, Porsche, Volkswagen, and Opel. Volkswagen is actually the #1 leading company in the world in automobile sales. But according to author Jay Laporte in a 2017 article on a statistic-based website called Statista, 426 billion euros were made in 2017 alone off these German automobile companies, which is around 485 billion US dollars. Lastly, let's talk about the most controversial of them all, pride. Some could say pride started World War II. However, and then after World War II, it kind of went away because if you were prideful for your country in Germany, you were pointed at and called a Nazi still. But today, it's changing. The kids are becoming more prideful because I think as a country, you need to be proud of who you are and of your country. My friend Max Brauchler stated, "It welds together, we would say. It makes people help each other and supports the being together." This picture is actually in Berlin after the World Cup in 2014. This is the first World Cup Germany won as a united country. Previous 3 were all West Germany. So this is a big deal, especially for the people in East Germany, because they never got to share that pride, or they never got to be proud of their soccer team, which is it's the biggest event in the world, sporting event. So it's great that they won it. And he actually said that this is the most German flags he'd ever seen in his country at one time. In 2014, a song came out by Andreas Barini called Auf uns, which means to us. So this song inspired German teens to be who they are and be proud. So here's the lyrics in English. Here's to us, to this life, to this moment that's always stays. Here's to us, to now and forever, to a day infinity. So I believe without pride, it's hard to be a country. As Americans, we have the most pride almost out of any country, but Germans have lacked it. But now they are starting to regain that pride, and their country is flourishing. In this speech, I described to you the factors that helped Germany grow from World War II to now, which are the education system, the business, and the pride of their citizens. Never forget the past because it teaches us very valuable lessons. However, change the future to make it bright together like Germany and its citizens have. Thank you.
At what age did you say that the decision would be made? Between the parents and the teachers?
Yes.
What the child?
Fourth grade.
Fourth
Fourth
grade.
grade, they've sat down. They have a meeting after fourth grade. So going into fifth grade, they don't have kindergarten. So versus the start, yeah, and then you decide.
How do they come to those conclusions?
I know as a fourth grader, I wasn't maybe the brightest at the time, but yeah, it's actually based off of like test scores that they had and the teachers' recommendations of like what they can do. But also some of these families are just like, maybe this is best for our family. And so our kids, like if you run a bakery, you might want your kid to go to the Realschule so that they will be a baker too. So it's kind of like academic and family and teaching. So all of it's kind of put into one to determine for the kid. It's very strict, but they're doing something. They got good engineers. Any other questions?
What do you think Germans think of the United States currently?
Well, I was actually just there last summer, and I taught in a school where I also taught English. They are fascinated. It's funny. All they want to care about is Disney World and New York and Donald Trump. They love Donald Trump. Actually, I'm just kidding. They hate him. They're so fascinated because they don't really. I mean, they love. Americans are very. Social media. We're all over the place. So they want to be an American, but they just know that they're fascinated with us. They love Americans, and they were just excited to have an American in their school to tell us about our country and stuff like that, because they only see what's on the news, which is usually not good stuff. Yeah, so they really, really do enjoy Americans and people. They would love to have you there because they can all speak English.